Hey there, everyone. It's GG Silver Sun. It is November 24th, AA Thought for the Day. Instead of pretending to be perfectionists in AA, we are content if we are making progress. The main thing is to be growing. We realize that perfectionism is only a result of false pride and an excuse to save our faces. In AA, we are willing to make mistakes and to stumble, provided we are always stumbling forward. We are not so interested in what we are as in what we are becoming. We are on the way, not at the goal. And we will be on the way as long as we live. No AA has ever arrived, quote unquote, but we are getting better. Am I making progress? And it's so funny because you kind of don't realize. I didn't realize when I was stagnating. It's kind of like I live here in paradise. I love it. I love living here. And that's why I always like to show the water and how beautiful it is and everything. But it's interesting to me how easy it is to slip into a lull of routine and complacency. So I don't know how to avoid that except to try different meetings and things like that. It's like, I go to jail meetings, I go to my home group a few times a week. My home group meets every day of the week, right? And it would be easy for me to slip into a routine of just going to my home group every day of the week, And I suppose that would be a good way to recognize when I'm stuck in a rut. Is that old saying, if I spot it, I got it, right? If I find somebody irritating or something like that, then maybe it's always me, you know what I mean? It's not them. And that would be an indicator that I need to change something up, whether it is another meeting, an additional meeting, or go to a different meeting, or start my own meeting. You know what I mean? This is how AA has grown. But it is so important to make progress. The story about, and I reference it often, seems like lately, the guy named Jim who thought it would be a good idea to drop whiskey in his milk because he'd already had a glass of milk and a sandwich, and so he's having a second sandwich and thought, a shot of whiskey wouldn't hurt, in my milk. And what they all concluded, him and whoever he shared the story with, was that he failed to enlarge his spiritual program. And that is definitely the case for me. I thought I was seeking spiritual avenues, but I was, I allowed myself to be led astray. So again, I stumbled, but I stumbled forward. Thank God. Meditation for the day. Each new day brings an opportunity to do some little thing that will help to make a better world, that will bring God's kingdom a little nearer to being realized on earth. Take each day's happenings as opportunities for something you can do for God. In that spirit, a blessing will attend all that you do. Offering this day's service to God, you are sharing in His work. You do not have to do great things. And again, it comes back to a handshake, sometimes. So simple. The spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live it. But it's simple. It's not overly complicated. We don't have to, go all over the world in order to share the message of a loving God. You know what I mean? Most of the time it is just as simple as saying hello to someone or saying something to them. And it was funny. I was in Walmart the other day looking at the bacon, and there was a guy standing there looking at the bacon as well, and I saw that they've got Cinnamon Toast Crunch bacon now. Like the cereal. It's like, for kids who don't like bacon, we're going to give them Cinnamon Toast Crunch bacon. And anyway, I just pointed it out. I was like, what will they think of next? And we both had a good laugh about it, and we kind of walked our separate ways, but it could have just been a funny little thing that I laughed at to myself, but just because I was kind of, I had to mention, I don't know, it just seemed like one of those things where I could have just had a nice laugh to myself, but because I stretched myself in terms of my own being in my own head and things like that, I made a connection with another human being, and I think we both walked away a little more appreciative of, connection. So that's just a small thing, but that's my point. It doesn't have to be a huge, grandiose gesture or piety, kind of thing. Just aim up 1 degree. Prayer for the day. I pray that today I may do the next thing, the unselfish thing, the loving thing. I pray that I may be content with doing small things as long as they are right. Now, I didn't have a huge amount of thought process in what I just shared about the bacon, right? Cinnamon Toast Crunch bacon, right? But it was just like, I don't know. There are days when I feel more connected to everyone around me, right? And sometimes I'll do something like that and I'll just get the weird look like, okay, dude, whatever. But it's a small thing. It's such a small thing. It's doing the next right thing, what feels right, obviously, as long as it's not selfish and self-centered, as long as it's putting me in connection with the people in the world around me. How could it be wrong? I mean, I don't see a flaw in that, but it's one of the things that keeps me coming back, Just gotta aim up. Aim up. Look up. Aim up. Rise up. Love y'all. Keep coming back.